Hi, I'm Maria Gnas with Keller Williams Bluegrass Realty and Team Gnas, and I want to show you today how I talk to a seller when I go out to list a property, and I want them to understand how important it is to price the home properly. And in Kentucky, one of the things that we understand very well is a horse race. So I titled this presentation, My Horse Race versus House Race, because what we're in is a house race. So I draw this out on paper and I show the seller. In a horse race, typically we have our starting gate, and horses, when they are brought down to the track, they've already pulled a post position, and so you'll have a horse here, first position, second position, third, and so on, and that is their location. That's their starting position, their location. As soon as that, they're off, what happens is the horses that are in the best condition, the horses that have the best starting position or their starting location, makes a difference, because when you start in closer to the rail, you don't have as far to run as if you start way up in post position 12, 13, 14 out in the field. And so the best location, the horses that are in best condition, the one that's ridden by the best jockeys, and those are the horses that immediately you'll start seeing the field spread out. You'll have several horses right here in the middle of the pack. You may have, a horse or two out front. And if you're in the audience, you're going to be looking at the horses that are out front. The ones that are looking at the horses that are back here, the scragglers, those are the owners or the people that have placed bets on those. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at the horses here. You'll have a bunch in the middle, and you'll have 2 or 3 out front, 2 or 3 in the back. Once they get to about, here, and if this is the finish line, once they get here, and we're back into this position, the ones that are out front really have the best chance of winning. Well, now I'm going to take you to the house race. The house race is just a little bit different than the horse race in that we don't all start at the same time. There's houses that have been on the market already running around this track for 2 or 3 months. There's houses that have been running around this track for about a year. And why haven't they sold? Why haven't they crossed that finish line? The finish line for a seller is when he gets a contract on his house. That's when he's actually seeing the light. How can we, as a realtor, help that seller position himself better in this market? And that's what we're going to do. Well, first of all, a lot of these things apply. First of all, the houses that are in great condition. So condition matters not only in the house race, horse race, but it matters in the house race. You've got to have your house in the best condition that you can possibly have it. That doesn't mean it has to be perfect. It has to be clean. It has to be neat. It has to be neutralized. It might even have to be staged. You might have to get some of your things out of the house, Mr. Seller, because it shows too crowded. You need to organize your closets. You need to organize your kitchen. You need to clip the hedges. You need to do all the things that make your house stand out so that people want to look at it. Just like these horses, the ones that are out front are the ones people are looking at. You want to have your house stand out because, like I said, in your house race, we don't all start at the same time. We've got a lot of houses that have been running around this track for quite a while. And, the ones that come in that are in top condition are going to get looked at right away. Because people these days, they don't want to do a whole lot to get their houses, the buyers. They don't want to do a whole lot. They want to move in, they want to move in ready. You also have to have, a good location. But one of the good things about location, people always say, hey, you can't change the location. We can't pick your house up and move it, and that's correct. But one thing we do is, obviously, we get our pricing based on the condition of your house and the location of your house. So pricing is crucial. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about pricing. if this was the house race instead of the horse race, where would you want to be? Let me erase this little circle right here. Where would you want to be? Would you want to be the house, if this is the finish line and all these houses are comparable homes to yours, where would you want to be? Would you want to be out front? Would you want to be the one in best condition with the best price or close to it so that people are at least going to be looking at you? Because you have the power, Mr. Seller, to plop yourself into the house race anywhere you want. And as long as you have a great jockey, which well actually I'm going to erase pricing right here. I'm going to put pricing here, and you'll find out why in a minute. I'm going to put your jockey, which is your realtor. Okay? Your realtor that you're looking for, that you're going to be hiring, is like your jockey. Your realtor can help you position yourself in the housing race. And your realtor is going to help you get your house in the best condition so that it's ready to run. Your house obviously has its location. We'll be pricing your house based on the condition, so these things are tied together because we're pricing your house based on the condition and its location. And your realtor is going to help guide you. We're going to position you in the market to where we feel like we can win the race and get you to the finish line, which is really your closing. Okay? The starting is like your listing date. You get in the race the day of your listing right. Now, would you want to run a horse that hasn't been practiced? No. That isn't in good condition? No. That doesn't have a good jockey? No. Would you want to start that horse on top of everything else in the worst location out on the 16th post? No. So what we want to do is we want to talk to the seller. We want to illustrate how important it is for their house to be in the best condition that they can get it in, for their price to be within range. We don't want to be just one of the middle of the packs, because the middle of the pack houses, just like the middle of the pack horses, there's so many of them that people can't choose. They're going to end up looking at one of the top condition and for the lowest price. So top condition, and now you see why I moved pricing down to the bottom, because the sellers that are selling in this housing market that we're in 2008 are the people that get their houses in top condition and price it towards the lower range of the fair market value. And your house is going to get looked at because, frankly, there's only a handful of buyers. There's only a handful of buyers, and there's a whole lot of houses that need to be sold. So we want to effectively get your house within their field of vision, because if we are one of these, it's not going to get to the finish line very quickly, and everybody's going to be frustrated. That horse that hasn't been conditioned, that horse that has a bad post position, that horse that doesn't have a good jockey, doesn't have a very good chance of getting to the finish line first. Just like a house that's not in good condition, somebody's priced it towards the top of the market for the condition that it's in, it's probably not going to have the greatest chance of getting to the finish line, which is closing. And the last thing that I want to point out is the difference. There's a lot of similarities, but the difference between a horse race and a house race, I'm just going to circle these two letters, Mr. Seller. You are. You, Mr. Seller, makes a difference, because you have the opportunity to pick the best realtor that you feel is going to do the best job marketing your home, positioning you in the market, telling you like it is, giving you the straight news about how your house compares to the others that are already running in the house race, and you get to do a little muscle and prepare yourself to get in the market, and you have the option of pricing it towards the lower end of your fair market value. So hopefully you've learned a little something from me today with my horse race and house race scenario. And Mr. Seller, you are the difference between getting your house sold and not. Thank you very much. Hope it helps.